Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Yes, we made it to 2026 with another great edition of Ring It in the House podcast show where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal. And we have a great meal in the house for you tonight. We are doing a recap of 2025. That's right. Some of the best interviews and the best times that happened last year in 2025. We're doing a recap tonight. So I hope you guys will sit back and enjoy. But before we do that, I caught up with my granddaughter earlier today, and I'm going to share this clip with you guys. It's Maya and Granny. Love you. Yeah, I just had to get that in. We love you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get into the best of 2025 right here on Bring It in the House. Yay! Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you.
So when I came onto the Rockette line in 1987, I had to learn a lot about the Rockette history, and that would take my 15 years of being a Rockette to really learn the ins and outs of how the Rockettes were founded and to my 1987 hire. And I detail in my book some of the things that I went through, but there was an incident where the PR person at Radio City pulled me aside before my Super Bowl halftime show. And she told me that nobody cares about me or my story, and I'm lucky to be there. And I took those words to heart at 20 years old. I thought she worked in PR, the media. I thought that nobody cared. I didn't think that I was old news. So there were some things that I went through that I had to peel back a lot of layers like an onion to really know that being the first Black dancer on that Rockette line has made a difference. And it shows today that many Black women can dance at Radio City Music Hall and call themselves Rockettes.
That is such an amazing story. You're so strong, and it really empowers others, to really go for their dreams. I mean, you've helped open doors and break down so many barriers. Back then, as a Rockette, did you have to be tall? Did you have height? You had to have height?
Yes. So part of the Rockettes is it's a precision dance troupe, and there is a height requirement, and it fluctuated a few years. So I think currently it's 5'5.5" to 5'10.5". And I know that sounds like a big difference, but the Rockette line is an optical illusion. They have the little ladies on the end, and they go to the tall ladies in the center. So it all looks like we're the same height, but we're not. And it's a very precise dancing. So they give specific cues on how to do arm movements. There's different leg kicks and leg heights that you have to kick. So everything is done under a microscope to get that look and feel of seeing 36 dancers on the stage looking like one.
Ooh, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's skill. That takes skills and lots of practice.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And that was the founder's vision. His name was Russell Market, and the Rockettes were founded in 1925 in St. Louis, Missouri.
A very hands-on experience with AI. So AI is one of those things that as a kid growing up, my dad was always around AI, especially in the early stages. So I really have a decent to good understanding of it. And then when I got to college, I didn't really explore AI because I really wanted to deep dive into like just the basics of IT, because that's what I went to school for. And then as I got deeper and deeper into college, and when ChatGPT started becoming really popular, I kind of deep dived into it a little more because I'm the full disclaimer, I've been using ChatGPT for like a while, or like something along the lines of that for a while. So when it became popular for everybody else, I was like, oh, okay, well, let me see the full utilization, the full tool of what I could use. And it's really interesting what you can really do with it. And then also as well, I actually helped create my own chatbot this time, not last year, but previous school year around March. I was part of the Battle of the Prince competition, where that was part of our case competition, and I, in 24 hours, helped create my own chatbot. So it was really interesting, really cool. So I had good hands-on experience, and I think it really did well for using it in the workplace right now.
Wow, that's amazing, Alex. Wow, you have a jump ahead, because a lot of us, especially the older generation like myself, we really didn't care. Initially, I didn't care for AI. That's why I asked the question. I didn't
Yeah,
really.
as most people do.
Yeah, we was like, hey, they're going to replace our jobs. What's going on with all this? These robots. That's how we saw it initially. But now we know better. Now we understand. Now it enhances the workplace. So next question is for Ari, and I always mess your name up, so I'm just gonna call you A. Is that okay?
All right, yeah, I like it.
We're gonna call you A. How comfortable are you with learning the new software? A lot of applications on the platform. There's some noise in the background. If we could kind of mute that, it'd be good. But anyway, yeah, how comfortable, at Dell or any of the places that you've worked, if you've had another job before this, how comfortable are you with the software applications and things on the platform?
Yeah, no, for sure. Before I start, y'all can hear me well?
Yes,
good?
great. Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the main things I learned in college was how to teach myself. Like, I had to go through a lot of trial and error on like what is the best way that I learn. And I learned for myself that like getting hands-on, getting my hands dirty, like going out there and actually doing the work versus just reading or versus just watching someone else do it. Like, I don't learn that way personally. And so what I ended up realizing was I can apply that to my day-to-day at Dell. And I started off, I had a few internships here and there. And even those, like all my internships before starting at Dell were fully remote. And so like
when I graduated from high school, I went to nursing school for 2 years. And then my anatomy instructor said, well, you have the aptitude to be a physician. And this is, early 60s, late 50s, early 60s. So I went to Maryland State, begged the dean to let me in. I told him I didn't have any money, but I'll work as many jobs as you have. But I have to get an education because my grandmother told me that education would be my way out of poverty, out of whatever. And I went to an HBCU. Maryland State is now University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And our professors made sure we were prepared. They told us we had to be 3-4 times more prepared just to be on an equal playing field in the marketplace. But while I was there as a biology major, working at least 3 jobs, Marion Sujet used to come down from Philly, my hometown, and do theater. And I started doing plays there. And I did Ennui's Medea. That's Hell Hath No, what is it? Hell Hath No Fury as a Woman Scorned, because she helped Jason get the Golden Fleece, and then they were exiled. And where she went, he decided to have a younger version of her, and she says, I don't think so. And the mayhem that she threw out there, and I said, oh my goodness, the light bulb went on. I went and got my degree in biology, but I knew I was going to go to New York to study. And I was blessed in the early 70s to do on-the-job training. So I was blessed to work with phenomenal actors, amazing directors. And then of course, I got a chance to go to Broadway with Richard Wesley's Mighty Gents. And I was nominated for a Tony Award alongside Morgan Freeman. I've been in high, tall cotton all my career with those that I've been blessed to work with. James Earl Jones has been my father. He's been my husband. Cicely Tyson, I did a wonderful movie with her. And Ruby Dee, just so many people. And in New York, there were so many places to study anyway. So not coming out of Juilliard or Yale or Carnegie Mellon, different places that are renowned for their theater arts department. We had the Drama Society at Maryland State. So we were doing theater, but we didn't have a theater arts major, which I hope someday that they will have now, because a number of us have come out of the school and have gone on in the entertainment field and, have done well. Yeah.
Wow. You've been really blessed. You've had an extensive career in the field of, theater arts, entertainment. Oh man. When you started out on this journey, did you have any inkling that it would, go to such heights, your career?
No, I just knew this was something that I had to do. And people said, or even my father said, well, wait a minute, you have a degree. Why are you struggling? I said, I'm not struggling. I'm doing what I love. I love this. And I'm as much a healer as an artist as I would be if I were a physician, because we make you laugh, cry, hopefully make you think, and that you're able to escape a period of time of all your concerns and worries and things in life, and that you dive into what you're seeing. And like I said, I've wonderful directors, wonderful stories I've been able to tell. I'm the only actress who's done all 3 women roles in A Raisin in the Sun. So when I got out of college, I did Beneatha. Then I did Ruth for a good while. Now I'm doing Lena Younger. So it's been a blessing. And working with people like Esther Roll and Danny Glover and Jim Pickens, Glenn Turman was my first Walter Lee. Being able to do August Wilson plays. I'm the original Bernice. I was on my way to Broadway.
You landed the role on BET Sisters. What was that like for you, Eugene?
My goodness. Really a dream come true. Really a dream come true. I read for, I've read for most of Tyler Perry's shows over the years. And it's a numbers game for us. We keep reading. We keep trying to leave you with a little bit of something. We're going to give you something.
Yeah.
And when I got the call, it was just absolute blessing. They said, my agent called and said, listen, Tyler Perry, they want you to a recurring role. And they want you to come out and start, in a few weeks. And so it was just a blessing. And the role, as many friends and colleagues are saying, that it fits, because my role as Mr. Keys, I'm Keys.
Mr. Keys, okay.
I'm Keys. And folks have been, that's you right there. You would say that, or you would do that, or you would. So it's fun to be able to use some of who I am, and that pour into that role.
Into that role, yeah. And then that's really good, because back in the day, I don't know if actors were given that little leverage there, to, kind of be more of, put yourself into it, is more like to my understanding.
I think it's just ordained that the role, that it's easy for me with this role and this writing, because I would say that. Yeah. I would share this information with a young man who seems to be struggling, and I'm Unc, folks call me, I'm Uncle Gene. I'm Big Unc. That's me. And so it was just a fit. It just came together. Couldn't be orchestrated any better.
That is so wonderful. So when you got a chance to join the cast, I know you were all excited, but did you meet Tyler Perry right away, or was that later? How does that work?
I met Mr. Perry on my first day of filming. On my first day of filming, we were just kind of wrapping up. It was a long day. And he just kind of pulled up with his music blaring, and he was just, a regular dude, right?
Yeah.
But he was pulling up the check on his cast and his crew. He came in and was, welcomed everybody, was pleasant with all the extras. And then he came over and all the cast, he came over and shook our hands and we just kind of introduced ourselves. Hey, thanks so much for having us here. So it was a blessing. He's like, hey, I'm working too hard. I'm going on vacation. He pulled off into the sunset, banging his old school,
Yeah.
So
That
was
sounds
cool.
like him.
It
Yeah.
was-
Yeah. He seems like really a cool guy, down to earth. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look forward to sitting down and talking to him a little bit more.
More. Yeah.
So, see what he needs. See if I can help fill the gap with,
There you go.
But really excited. Really.
I know you have a great agent. Sounds like you have a great agent too that keeps you out there working. So shout out to your agency.
Yeah. My agent is Hayes Talent. Michelle Hayes is the owner there. TJ Armour is out in LA. We also have an agency, an office in Atlanta. And so, they're getting me seen. And so I'm self-taping and I'm submitting and throwing stuff up. So shout out to Hayes Talent Group. We've been doing some stuff for a long time. So this is exciting.
Yeah, and it's paying off, all of that.
It's paying off. It really is. It really is. And it's humbling. It's humbling because it's like, this is what you work hard for, but it's like, okay, now you're in it. Now you're doing it. It's like, okay, we're doing this, right? Okay. And let me stay as grounded as I can.
Nathan can pick up the story from here.
Yeah, Toronto was the birthplace for a lot of groups that were New York, New Jersey to play in. So we all met in Toronto.
In Toronto. And you guys were like in high school or right out of high school or?
No. We
were accomplished musicians back then.
We were in our 20s though. We were in our we were in our 20s. We were young men.
Right.
But we had all been doing things, especially Nathan and Arnett, who were with I think Sam and Dave, or you were playing with Sam and Dave, or Gwen McCrae.
Nat was playing with Gwen McCrae, actually.
I'm sorry, keep going out of frame. I was working with the Casey and the Sunshine Band, Gwen McCrae, George McCrae tour at that time, and they actually had come through Toronto. And Tommy, Greg, and Larry were staying at this hotel called the York Hotel. Do you remember that, Tommy?
Yeah. Yep.
And we were all at the York, and the guitar player in those days in the 70s, even on a tour like that, nobody was making any great money. So we were doubling up, and the guitar player and I were roommates. And he knew Larry, and he knew Larry was in the hotel. So we came up, and we all had a drink, and we all just talking, and we started talking about a supergroup. Because Chicago, Earth, Wind, and Fire, everybody was out doing it, and we wanted to do the same, actually. So what happened at that particular point after that was we planned, we all get back in the country because, Toronto, you're still out of America. Let's get together. It turned out that on my birthday, Larry calls me and says, I've got a rehearsal. Can you bring your guys in? Because he knew he didn't have, they didn't have a bass player at the time, horn players. And we just put the band together. So we brought a bass player that worked with us. And on it, myself, we went and we sat down. And the first thing we started messing with was rigor mortis. And that
this was in New York City.
New York City. And that was with Eric Durham, who actually wrote the introduction to that song. It was one of those eclectic but really spiritual moments because we didn't know. We had no idea that. But even then, we were all sure that, okay, well, fellas, let's get together. If we catch a fish, we'll all eat it. that was our mantra in terms of just, let's get together and get famous.
Let's get it popping.
Right.
Like the younger people say. And you guys did. And I mean, you took on. So now each one of you play an instrument?
Several instruments, actually.
Yeah. So, okay, tell us, what do you play, Nathan? Which instruments?
When I first got to the organization, I played trumpet and trombone and sung. Tommy played, he was singing, but he actually went to kalimba that he got very good at, and then eventually flute. Greg started at piano and then went to sax, and Arnett was playing multiple saxes at that time. So we could go through different instruments.
I play a multitude of instruments, because I play clarinet, bass clarinet, flute, piccolo, bass, guitar, a little bit of drums. Tried my brother's trumpet, but it just messed with my armature, so I said, no, I can't do that.
That was my first time trying to learn trumpet. I'm like, that's not going
that trumpet is an MF. It ain't for the young. It ain't for the young. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I took up the kalimba because of my hero.
Playing the S out of kalimba. I like.
I still got it, and I mess with it. Maurice White was my hero. So I tried to sing like him and all that. That was. That was my man back then. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Maurice White. Yeah. They started a sound that, okay. Then you're getting off subject. But yeah, that was really great.
First and foremost, I want to give the glory to God, because God is absolutely, I pray before each show that we can witness, that we can be the vessel that he needs us to be. That's really important. And my veterans, and I do call them my veterans, because I love my veterans. I love my freedoms, and I'm very grateful for them. And so I do call them my veterans. I take it that personal.
Yes, as you should, because I mean, hey, everybody's got their hands in it, and they're putting in the work, and that's what makes everything so successful. I mean, so how do you do it all, Andrew? I mean, is there like a secret formula to your success?
Well, I think there comes days when you have to say, okay, this particular day, I'm taking the day off to recharge the body, to refocus on where we're going and what we're doing. We have some corporate meetings in the strangest places, my wife and myself, whether it's driving down the road or whatever. But we always have an understanding that there comes a day or so that we just have to take a little downtime, recharge the battery, meditate on what's happened and where we're going. And the Lord allows a new vision to open up if it needs to be, or a vision to close if it needs to be.
Amen. That's a good way, to look at it, it's all about organizing and keeping things in perspective. Sounds like that's what works for you guys. Yeah.
And I mean, we do a lot of our own booking and stuff like that. So if we're not out working it, we're booking it. And if we're not booking it, we're writing it. And if we're not writing, I work with 8 different studios recording material in different states, and all the way out to Washington, Ohio, Tennessee, and Florida as well. So yeah, there's a lot to put together in the pieces, and it all comes together.
Yeah. And I know that when you see it all come together, I know that's amazing too, to witness, just to watch everything come together like that. So you write, you compose, you produce your own music, you do it all, correct? And you also have your own record label, right? Night Sky Records and Promotions International.
Yes, we do. And we're blessed to have some artists that we represent, and just some fantastic music. The independent market is so wide open with diversity and different sounds that just the creativity level is just off the charts. And it's such an honor that people would bless me, and I call it their babies with their songs.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It truly
is. They created it. So yeah, it's their babies. I agree. Who are some of the artists on your label?
Well, right now, the big ones we have on are the Graves Brothers, and that's Tim and Ted. They are associated with bluegrass music. And Ted is more your blues kind of guy, whereas Tim is kind of your bluegrass guy. And their uncle Josh actually was with Flatt and Scruggs, which was the top dog in the bluegrass way back when. And they'd come to the front porch and play. And so that's where they learned. And boy, the talent is it's just amazing. And sometimes I hear what they're doing, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I can tell. I like to hear some of their music too. I'm going to look them up when I get off this show. Yeah, for sure. So Andrew, how do you stay motivated to continue writing great music? How does that process work for you?
Well, the Lord above is where my motivation is. And when I pray about it and I get inspired by it, then I know it's right. And there are times, I can write a song in 5 minutes, and there are times it takes years. So it just depends, and God releases that at the right time. The latest CD we have, Faith, Hope, and Love, is a good example of that. It took me 17 years to do this. My mama plays on here. She's been gone for 15 years, and I sing with my younger self, which was kind of different. And then my keyboard player from my original band, he plays on here, and it's like, the last song that we did on it, he played. He goes, he's from Tennessee. His name's Garland Kraft. He's like, I got to play with my younger self. I said, how about that? He goes, I think I still got it. I said, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So,
and your new album is Faith, Hope, and Love.
I'm enthused, Millie, to kind of end the year here, to be able to bring people some of these ideas about health and how to improve their potential. And if you go to my 40over40.com, it's about health and longevity in all aspects of your life. So I think it's just a lovely way to end the year, and what a great show to be on for it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on all your success. A third generation chiropractor. How amazing is that? Now, I was reading that, it all started for you guys. It opened up in Rockford, Illinois back in 1949. Kind of tell us a little bit how you personally got over into that lane. How did you transfer into it?
Well, I took the long way. I took the scenic route. My grandfather, I got into it because he wasn't sure what to do with his life after World War II. He actually ended up using the GI Bill to attend Palmer Chiropractic, and it was Rockford, we're a little town outside Rockford, where the power plant is today, is Byron, Illinois, and that's where he ran out of gas money, so that's where they parked and opened up shop. And like my dad and my uncles, they more or less just like jumped right into chiropractic. And then myself, I knew as a teenager that I was not going to follow in my father's footsteps. So I didn't. I went into the theater, and I was very much a writer. I still write fiction, and I haven't published anything in years, but still working on it, bringing it all back out. Did a lot of travel writing, did some article writing, copywriting. Got a degree from the University of Iowa in English literature and theater, and kind of left the theater shortly after that, after being on stage, backstage. And then I did various things, as what a lot of people did. I bartended for years. I ran a shoe company. I worked at restaurants. I did freelance writing. I traveled around Europe doing some travel writing. Ended up in Chicago, where I was, doing what a lot of other people do, is sort of trying to make it, not quite sure where I was going with it. And I ended up spending a lot of time explaining to people about, they tell me about their health, and I go, wow, my